apologies for the fan, but also, I guess it just makes it unintentional ASMR, and there are some people who would get a kick out of that. I get a kick out of jazz, and I'm doing something special because I just got a $1,000 donation from an anonymous Yowie eco-terrorist saying that they expect nothing in return, but also I'm responsible for their bail if they end up taking care of a billionaire data center. I was gonna do it more like a, but when I do that, it splashes, and then I was holding it over my laptop, so I didn't want to spill blue over my laptop. But I love the taste of blue. I'm editing a video. Now, that means it's just me putting a bunch of raw footage, and then I edit the colors, and I'm on my balcony. I'm drinking alcohol on my balcony. That's talk about wild. Talk about crazy. And I'm posting it online. I changed shirts. I like this one better. Sure, that green one is comfortable, but it's like, I ain't taking it with me to California. I'm taking this one, and part of this is this shirt helps me get some major discounts at gas stations. Because I just look like someone who would wear extremely baggy clothes. As conspicuous as I am, like, people will see me in public and they'll look at me like, because they're so confused, or they're like, or they blow smoke in my face. But then there's people who love the fact I'm a fictional character. I just have this extremely heightened sense of self-awareness. And I used to be like Malcolm from Malcolm in the Middle, where that led to me seeing all my flaws. But I have so many good attributes, and pretty much all of them are the other side of you can't have one without the other of my flaws, and the fact that I feel such big emotions, so I can feel negative ones very intensely. But you know, I can feel love and joy in a way that none of y'all neurotypical bitches will ever aspire to. And neurotypical doesn't just mean ADHD, it means PTSD, OCD, narcissism, sociopathy, and oh, trust me, as I'm like, I love all of these internet people I grew up with, and I'm not criticizing their character, I'm criticizing society. A lot of mental health terminology is thrown around, just like people saying, oh, psycho, oh, narcissist. And, you know, they've gotten more woke over the years, but there's so many microaggressions that unless you are an insane person or on my level of woke or have heard me talk about this, you wouldn't know about Satanism, because we are a ignored group of society. People who do not conform are just who... I'm a social reject. I was voted biggest social reject by my high school drama department. Yeah, I'm what you call a social pariah. I'm fucking legendary, bruh. I have such an interesting backstory, and I just drop it. I'm like, oh yeah, when I was hit by a car, Oh yeah, when I got lost in the woods. Oh yeah, my abusive childhood. That, which I remember of it. I will say I remember a lot more bad than good. But I watched Phineas and Ferb, and, you know, it's one of those shows to where it's like you're looking at Doofenshmirtz being this, like, what the hell's... If you... I don't know if you should take some time to pay attention to the way my eyebrows move when I talk, especially especially when I'm using it to convey an emotion or when I'm feeling emotional and my eyebrows, they just start fucking twitching out. But that's more when I'm sad. Which I have videos of me being sad because it's my video journals. And also I look very beautiful when I cry. I'm a poet. I just have one of those faces. People are like, can you get more sleep? And I'm like, you're so standard circadian rhythm centric. Not everybody lives a fucking 9 to 5 lifestyle. Some of us like staying up at night so we can work on our artistic endeavors without being disturbed. Also, it's cooler outside. And you know what's cool? Cool jazz. I love this cat. Oh, I can't wait till I meet some cats. The ones around here are a bunch of male musicians. It's just, look how good I am at playing the horn instead of, let's make I hear music. Pretty, 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 pretty music. If you know Blossom Dearie, that was who was just playing. Billie Holiday. I am like a time machine. I am constantly talking about the 1960s as it is my common knowledge. I decided that I'm gonna be a 1960s hippie with a laptop, except I'm also the long lost emperor child of Amazing Phil and Dan Is Not on Fire, except way more low effort than them because I'm an artist. So it's literally every second of this footage is a work of art because everything is purposeful. I'm playing music. I'm so excited that I think I just reached 400 subscribers. When I get to 500, I will be able to turn off monetization and completely turn off ads on my channel. I'm a free TV show of your favorite fictional character. I'm your parasocial friend, the friend that comes with the internet, because I myself, by watching my videos, you are getting to know me. And I have just been talking for a year, like everybody is interested in doing it, because this is the internet, and it lasts forever. People make video essays 10 years after the fact. People make Wikipedia pages. My Tumblr is so well organized. Do you have any idea how weird my Wikipedia page is gonna be? There's gonna be someone who randomly stumbles upon it and they're gonna be like, who is this? This is an insane person. And then they'll watch my videos. And then they'll watch every single video I've ever made and they go, so that's what's wrong with them. I gotta say, Kermit Guram. This is Dorothy Dandridge. It's from the Smooth Operator compilation of her music. It was released in 1999, but it's 50s music. She was the first African American to be nominated for an Academy Award of Best Actress. And I found her through her jazz showing up on my radio. She has this song, The Touch of Your Lips. Upon her brow. I'm so excited for California, Bray. Do you have any idea how insane I'm gonna be in California? Because I am this likely to be hate crimed in Georgia. People do it all the time, but they do it without, like... People have found every single way to hate crime me in a way to where they get away with it because it's shit that people just don't. I stand up for myself, so they have to find things that aren't objectively evil from a distance. But bro, let me explain to you why this is rooted in such deep-set bigotry, the patriarchy, white supremacy. You are white before you are queer, y'all goddamn white liberals piss me off. And yes, I am white. I'm also Polish. And we're friends of Haiti. Wikipedia page, Polish Haitians. Yeah. Wikipedia, it's not that Wikipedia page isn't a reliable source for the reason that you can't cite it on papers. It's because Wikipedia is a compilation of sources. But if you go to the hyperlinks, look at that. You have the source, and then you can quote what they are referencing. I love reading Wikipedia pages. It's like, okay, as much as I am an intellectual and a cultured person, I don't really read many books. The books I have are just weird vintage books I found that I just flip through sometimes. I have this one, it's from 1945. It is a Reader's Digest anthology, Getting the Most Out of Life. It is a collection of the most insightful articles. It's condensed versions of them from the past 25 years. So I love going through it. I also have this 1972 memoir of a gay man talking about what the gay life is like and answering the big questions like, should you marry a homosexual? Homos. Check this out. I love staring at lights. I watch so much TV, so of course I'm gonna be an emotive person. Part of the reason why I smolder so much, if you watch my videos, you notice that when I'm focusing or when I'm thinking, I'm like, it's like when I'm thinking about it, it's like, you'll have seen it, you've seen it. It's because when you paint over 100 portraits of Dean Winchester, you begin to pick up on some of his mannerisms. When you stare at Dean Winchester for 10 hours on a single painting. I was painting 40 hours a week last summer, which I'm so glad I did because I was going through it for like 3 weeks. I wrote a letter to a past flame who treated me very terribly, and I wanted to have a conversation with them before there was a cockroach. I wanted to have a conversation with them before I literally leave for California and I go be the coolest person on planet Earth. I'm all ready. It's okay. You may go, that's such a boastful claim. Well, Jimi Hendrix is dead. So, I am the coolest person on Earth. I'm gonna live past 28. Oh yeah. Even if I die, even if I ever die, my Tumblr is there forever. So Splitterville House will never die. Live long and prosper. Glominy galore, Bob. And no, those aren't a direct translation for each other. I'm so funny, bruh. And I'm so lovable for the fact that I laugh at my own jokes. I'm my own jester. Although when the jester's tired of juggling, in sways the philosopher and the turmoiled poet. But that's why I'm so goddamn Juno-esque when I'm emotional. This is Shirley Horn. Also a 1960s African American artist. She has 350k monthly listeners. I really like her Travel and Light item. That's from 1965. Primo jazz, let me tell you that. That's the thing. Nobody can call me. If you diss on me, you are literally a Jeff and a square. There's no wrong notes in jazz, and if you try and tell me I'm incorrect, that I'm not right, that I'm not allowed to speak, you are a motherfucking Jeff and a square. Suck my dick. So Destiel, OTP, Fermit, Dan and Phil, Kirkspock, OG Mpreg. And now I can put literally whatever I want to title my video. I like randomly doing insanely weird clickbait, and it's not that like I'm using YouTubers' name for clickbaits, it's just that I'm making content for the fandom of people who have parasocial relationships in the cool way. I'm also going to destigmatize that, because parasocial relationships do not date back to Dream. It goes back further than Dan and Phil. Sherlock Holmes, when he died, the people had a letter writing campaign for Sir Arthur Conan Doyle to bring him back to life. And so he did, but then he made Sherlock and Watson go through a divorce, so then Watson could marry some girl who Sherlock hated. They're so fucking gay. I played Sherlock Holmes once, and it was specifically the story of him being sick and dying so he can feign poisoning from this plant. And there was this scene. I was so fucking queer with it. At one point, I was like, Watson, I won't even hesitate to shoot. And then he said some shit about, you're a terrible shot and you don't have a gun. And I went, how did you know I would not fire? The people fucking loved it. Someone after the show was like, I am so mad. I am so jealous. You are such a comedic actor. Like, I could literally never be that funny. And that was while I was being bullied. Now I can be as insane as I want, and literally no one can do anything about it, because I would say this with a smile on my face in front of thousands of people. Going back to the letter thing, I'm telling you to this, guys, because I can't talk about this to the people in real life because they don't know what to say, and then they feel bad for that. But this is the internet. You don't know me in real life. You don't know who I'm talking about. You didn't know me while I was going through it, because these people were like, whoa, not that freak. People were not a fan of how they treated me, but I had undiagnosed borderline personality disorder, and so it literally did not matter how they treated me. I was convinced I was the terrible one for feeling so terrible at how they treated me. That's why it's so easy to take advantage of people with borderline personality disorder, because they do half the gaslighting for you. So much mental health shit is, how does your mental illness affect other people? How are you fucking terrible for society? Instead of, how does your mental health, how is your mental health, how does your disorder affect you, affect the individual? What support do you need? What support should you expect from other people? Yes, this is life. But so they're not the first person I've made an elaborate personal letter writing campaign for. For a second I was like, do I have like kind of toned cheek muscles from how emotive I am? That would be crazy. Also, because it's, like this, my eye twitch uses this. It's like I did this for all of the YouTubers I liked first, and these were people who I didn't know, but I was like, these people don't know me, but I'm going to make this letter the most entertaining thing they have ever read in their life, so they have no choice but to love me. Because I am so lovable. I'm such an amazing person, bro. And some people find my self-awareness abrasive. But guess what? I have a blog and people follow me for how self-centered I am. And no, I'm not a narcissist. I have borderline personality disorder, not narcissistic personality disorder. And I fucking, if any of you got NPD, know that I'm always fucking fighting against people who use your terminology and frame you guys as all abusers, when it should be. I was watching this one person talking about narcissism, and they said the self-importance, it does not, at least for this person, was like, it does not come from a place of love. I love myself, if it wasn't obvious. And I'm very aware of how amazing my art is, which is also why I can do whatever I want. I just got a $1,000 donation, and literally all I do is say my every thought and go on my every whim. But my letters, I sent them one page. Yeah, I was insane, voicemails. But they were ghosting me regularly, knowing how mentally ill I was. Gonna tell me you like my arms when they're covered in scars, so you were looking at my arms. You were looking where the scars were, so you know I'm fucking batshit. But they couldn't decide if they wanted to deal with my insanity enough, because they wanted to have sex with me so bad. So just kept telling me exactly what I needed to hear to stay just waiting. And so I also made a tag for them in my blog, which again I did for all these YouTubers first. And I wrote poetry, and I had some messages for them. And so I wanted it to be to where they only found it if they actually put in the effort to read my blog. Because in the first letter I sent to them, I told them that before they respond to me, they have to get to know Split Level House. I've not been in the same room with this person in over a year. I cleaned my room. I found an old, I knew where this journal was, but I opened it. But instead of looking through all the stuff I hated about them, I flipped to my journal from the very beginning. And so I went back into my mode where I was like, maybe if I try hard enough. That kindness had to have some level of being genuine. Nerp. But it's fine. Once I get to California, I'm gonna have more than 3 weed smoking girlfriends. If you do not know what I'm talking about, please just Google Jory weed smoking girlfriends. It is the most wonderful thing. It is one of the most... You will understand me so much more when you see one of the most influential works in my life. Before completely disappearing off the radar from the storytelling troupe I was in because my professor pissed me off, and if he was gonna treat me like an unstable mentally ill teenager, I was gonna act like an unstable mentally ill teenager, so I just disappeared, and he kept being like, are they okay? Are they okay? I'm so worried. That's what you get. That's what you get for pissing me off. That's the thing. I love a good revenge scheme. It all started, and then you get the ripple flashback. See, I'm like Heinz Doofenshmirtz, except instead of wanting to rule the tri-state area, I want to do everything I can to get us to world peace. Through the power of love. Jimi Hendrix. I wasn't gonna talk about the stuff with them at all on my YouTube channel. The stuff with my personal life is mainly in my Tumblr. It's just, I don't feel like typing these thoughts out. Because then I have the ability to reread it over and over and over and over and over again, and I read really fast. And I don't need to be ruminating on this. I just desperately need to talk about it. And I wanted to be able to talk about it with them. It took years to process and heal from what they did. And so I just wanted to have a conversation because I am an amazing person and I like to see the good in people. So I really thought that if they would look at my blog, then I would get that. There's still time. I leave for California in like 13 days, but I can't hold on to that hope anymore because I spent 3 weeks in agony reliving every single emotion they ever put me through. And half of that was because I fucking repressed all that shit because everyone was like, you need to stop thinking about them. Why are you still thinking about them? Because I'm an insane person. That's why some people are like, you're not insane. Because I don't post my the insanity that is me. There is levels of insanity that I'm not going to post on the internet. I'm posting all of the amazing parts of me. And that includes me crying because I'm Juno-esque.